At times it is like watching a face you have just met, trying to decide who it reminds you of no one, surely whom you've hated or loved, but yes, somebody. Somebody you watch the face as it turns and nods, showing you at certain angles a curve of the lips or a lift of the eyebrow is exactly right, and still, the lost face eludes you. Now, this face is talking, and you hear a sound in the voice, the accent on certain words, yes, a phrase you barely recall. Sitting outside by a pool or a campfire, remarking a peculiar recurring expression, 2 syllables, wasn't it? Doorknob. Bathroom. Shawcross. What the hell kind of word is Shawcross in name? Not the right one, a couple of syllables. That could possibly be a little like something you may once have heard. So the talk drifts, and you drift, sneaking glances pound in your brain. Days later, a phrase occurs to you when, yes, there is a resemblance. That odd word, though, or phrase, is gone. It must have been somebody else. Yes, it's like that at times. Something is, maybe, and there are days when you can almost say what it is.
Are you shaken? Are you stirred? By a whisper of love? Spellbound to a word, does time cease to move till her calm gray eye expands to the sky and the clouds of her hair like storms go by? Then the lips that you have kissed turn to frost and fire, and white steaming mist obscures desire. So back to their birth, fade water, air, earth, and the first power moves over void and dearth. Is that love? No, but death. A passion, a shout, the deep inbreath, the breath roaring out. And once that is flown, you must lie alone, without hope, without life, poor flesh, sad bone. Thank you. It was a picture I had after the war. A bombed English church. I was too young to know the word English or war, but I knew the picture. The ruined city still seemed noble. The cathedral, with its roof blown off, was not less godly. The church was the same, plus rain and sky. Birds flew in and out of the holes God's fist made in the walls. All our desire for love or children is treated like rags by the enemy. I knew so much, and sang anyway, like a bird who will sing until it is brought down. When they take away the trees, the child picks up a stick and says, "This is a tree. This the house and the family, as we might." Through a door of what had been a house, into the field of rubble walks a single lamb, tilting its head, curious, unafraid, hungry. Thank you.
It begins as a house, an inn terrace in this case. It will not stop there. Soon, it is an avenue which can bridge diagonally past the Mechanics Institute. Turns left at the main road without even looking. And quickly, it is a town with all four major clearing banks, a daily paper, and a football team pushing for promotion. On it goes, oblivious of a pending act. Green belt, and before we know it, it is out of our hands. City, nation, hemisphere, universe, hammering out in all directions until suddenly, mercifully, it is drawn aside through the eye of a black hole and bulleted into a neighboring galaxy, emerging smaller and smoother than a billiard ball, but weighing more than Saturn. People stop me in the street, badger me at the checkout queue and ask, "What is this? This so small and so very smooth, but whose mass is greater than the ring planet?" It's just words, Ashra. They will not have it. Thank you.
What the scale tells you is how much the earth has missed your body, how it wants you back again after you leave it to go forth into the light. Do you remember how earth had removed you then, at Others would rock you in their arms, warm in the floor that fend you, boxed you upright. Then others began to blame you with spots and fevers, began to lick at you with a bruised knee, a bloody shin, and finally to stroke your body, drumming intimate coded messages through music you danced unawares, there in your dreamings and your poems and your obedience to love. Body, how useful you became, how lucky, heavy with news and breakage, rich and sad sometimes. Imagining that good zero you might have been, that empty sack of possibilities never to come tomorrow. But look at you now, body. Soft old shoe that love wears when it's calling. Look down. Look how earth wants what you wear, needs what you know. Thank you.
People pray to each other the way I say you to someone else. Respectfully, intimately, desperately. The way someone says you to me. Hopefully, expectantly, intensely. Hub Osterhus. You, who I don't know. I don't know how to talk to you. What is it like for you there? Here, well, wanting solitude and talk. Friendship, the uses of solitude. To imagine, to hear, learning Braille. To imagine other solitudes. But they will not be mine. To await the quiet, not scatter the voices. What are you afraid of? What will happen? All this leaving and meeting, yes, but death. What happens when you die? Not scatter the voices. Drown out and make a house out of my own words, to be quiet in another throat, other eyes, listen for what it is like there, what word, what silence, allowing uncertain to drift in the restlessness. Repose. To run like water. What is it like there now? Listen. The crowding of the street, the room. Everyone hunches in against the crowding, holding their breath against dread. What do you dread? What happens when you die? What do you dread in this room now? Not listening now, not watching. Safe inside my own skin. To die not having listened, not having asked, to have scattered. Life. You have to keep finding over again. To follow it back to life. I know. Possible sometimes. Thank you.
Love not too much, but all when those has been researched. And those that give bestowed. How can I love so much? Though I must well to lose, and join my joys and care, which all is done I choose, a part of love. Though, thou, I know not why, didst kill my childish trust, that which you told did I rebel because I must, in spite of riding scheme, with the feet of hell. Blasphemy in my dream, so far I have overlooked. But what dear avec qui, what novel and one, shall quite a stupidity. I have no shadow of thought. Why am I that company? The love from which began. My questions are open, justified it. Thank you.
Yo, chocolate milk breakfast, kid. One leg of your sweatpants rolled up, scrounging at the bottom of your mama's purse for buster and gum. Pen broken and ink on your thumb, kid. What's good? Hot in the cement, kid. White castle, kid. Tongue stained purple. Custom on the court till your little brother shows up with half a candy bar, kid. Got that good being science, kid. You earned it. Etch your name in a tree. Hug your granny on her birthday. Think of Alaska when they shoot and curled up dreams of salmon. Safety, tundra. The farce we place a read in a book. Polar bears, your new chess partners. Pickaxe in the ice. Northern Lights, kid. Keep your notebook so your cousins don't find it. Leave it on my desk if you want. Shovel under carbon paper and a stamp that screams yellow and red to draw the eye from the ocean you keep hidden in a jacked up 5-star. Your mama thought there was a secret in there. Thought they would laugh. But that ain't it. It's that flows and flows and flows and ripcord bits you got. Bars till the end of time. You could rap like helium about to spring. All of it, down to you. None left in the sun, viewless. While the last light pushes from your belly, climbing your ribs, and you laugh into the microphone. And who's ready for that? Thank you.
Today, we woke up to a revolution of snow. Its white flag waving over everything. The landscape vanished. Not a single mouse can punctuate the blankness. And beyond these windows, the government buildings smothered. Schools and libraries buried. The post office lost under the noiseless drift. The paths of trees softly blocked. The world fallen under this falling. In a while, I'll put on some boots and step out like someone walking in water. And the dog will course through the drifts. And I'll shake a lady bridge sending a cold shower down this boat. But for now, I'm a willing prisoner in this house. A sympathizer with the anarchic cause of snow. I'll make a pot of tea and listen to the plastic radio on the counter. As glad as anyone to hear the news that the kiddie corner school is closed. The Olive Branch Children's School, closed. The Ding Dong School, closed. The High Hill Nursery School, closed. Along with some little beats glad to hear, the Toadstool School, the Little School, Little Sparrow's Nursery School, Little Star Preschool, Peas and Carrots Day School, the Tom Thumb's Child Center, all closed. And clap your hands, the Peanuts Play School. So, this is where the children hide all day. These are their nests where they let her draw, where they put on their bright miniature jackets, all darting and climbing and sliding, all but the few girls whispering by the fence. And now, I'm listening hard in the grandiose silence of the snow, trying to hear what those 3 girls are plotting. What ride is afoot? Which small queen is about to be brought down? Thank you.
I carry your heart with me. I carry it in my heart. I am never without it. Anywhere I go, you go, my dear. And whatever is done by only me is your doing, my darling. I fear no fate, for you are my fate, my sweet. I want no world, for beautiful you are my world, my truth. And it's you, and whatever a moon has always meant, and whatever a sun will always sing. It's you. Here is the deepest secrets nobody knows. Here is the root of the root, and the bud of the bud, and the sky of a tree called life, which goes higher than soul can hope or might can hide. And this is the wonder that's keeping the stars apart. I carry your heart. I carry it in my heart. Thank you.
Frame within frame, the evolving conversation is dance-like, as though 2 could play at improvising snowflakes, 6 feather-veined evanescence, no 2 ever alike. All process and no arrival. The happier we are, the less there is for memory to take hold of. Or memory, being so largely a predilection for the exceptional, come to a halt in front of. But finding one evening on a street not quite familiar, inside a gated November sodden garden, a building of uncertain provenance, peering into whose vestibule we were arrested, a frame within a frame, a lozenge of impeccable clarity, by the reflection, no, not of our 2 selves, but of dancers exercising in a mirror. At the center of that clarity, what we saw was not stillness, but movement, the perfection of memory consisting, it would seem, in the never to be completed. We saw them mirroring themselves, never guessing the vestibule that defined them, frame within frame, contained 2 other mirrors.
People pray to each other. The way I say you to someone else. Respectfully, intimately, desperately. The way someone says you to me. Hopefully, expectantly, intensely. Hugo's yours. You, who I don't know. I don't know how to talk to you. What is it like for you there? Here, well, wanting solitude. In talk. Friendship. The uses of solitude. To imagine, to hear, learning Braille, to imagine other solitudes, but they will not be mine. To wait in the quiet, not to scatter the voices. What are you afraid of? What will happen? All this leaving and meetings, yes, but death. What happens when you die? Not scatter the voices. Drown out. Not make a house out of my own words. To be quiet in another throat, other eyes. Listen for what it is like there. What word, what silence. Allowing, uncertain, to drift in the restlessness. Repose, to run like water. What is it like there right now? Listen, the crowding of the street, the room. Everyone hunches in against the crowding, holding their breath, against dread. What do you dread? What happens when you die? What do you dread in this room now? Not listening now, not watching. Safe inside my own skin. To die, not having listened, not having asked. To have scattered life. Yes, I know, the thread you have to keep finding over again. To follow it back to life, I know. Impossible sometimes.
Once you said jokingly, slyly, "If I'm killed, I'll come to haunt your solemn bed. I'll stand and glower at the head and see if my place is empty still or filled." What was it woke me in the early darkness before the first birds twittered? A shape, dissolving and flittering, unsteady as a flame in a drafty house. It seemed a concentration of darkness, burning by the bedpost on my right hand, while to my left, that no man's land of sheet stripped palely as a false morning. All day I have been sick and restless, this evening curtained with all the lights on. I start up, only to sit down. Why should I grieve after 10 years of grieving? What if last night I was the one who lay dead, while the dead burned beside me, trembling in passionate pity at my blameless life, and shaking its flame-like head?
I've walked through many lives, some of them my own, and I am not who I was. Though some principle of being abides from which I struggle not to stray. When I look behind, as I am compelled to look before I can gather strength to proceed on my journey, I see the milestones dwindling toward the horizon, and the slow fires trailing from the abandoned campsites over which scavenger angels wheel on heavy wings. Oh, I have made myself a tribe out of my true affections, and my tribe is scattered. How shall the heart be reconciled to its feast of losses? In a rising wind, the manic dust of my friends, those who fell along the way, bitterly stings my face. Yet I turned, exalting somewhat my will intact to go wherever I need to go, and every stone on the road precious to me. In my darkest night, when the moon was covered and I roamed through wreckage, and the misclouded voice directed me, live in the layers, not on the litter. Though I lack the art to decipher, no doubt the next chapter in my book of transformations is already written. I am not done with my changes.
I will do everything you tell me, Margaret. I will charm 3 gold hairs from the demon's head. I will choke the mouse that gnaws apple tree's roots and keep its skin for a glove. To the wolf, I'll be pretty and kind and curtsies crossing my path. The forest, vocal even in its somber tread, rages. A slope ends in a pit of foxes drunk on rotten brambles of berries, and the raccoons ransack rabbits' unmasked hole. What do they find but a winter's heap of droppings? A stolen nest, the cracked shell of another creature's child. I imagine this is a rabbit way, and I will not stray, mother, into the forest thick, where the trees meet the dark, though I have no misgivings of light as the hot hand that looketh against my neck. The path ends at a river I must cross. I will wait for the ferryman to motion me through. Into the waves he etches with his oar in the story. The silent girl runs away. The silent girl is never safe. I will take his oar in my hand. I will learn the boat's rocking and bring myself back and forth. To be good is a hurricane precaution. I will know indecision's rowing. The water I lap into my lap as he shakes his withered head. Behind me is the forest. Before me, the field, the loose run of grass. I stay in the river, mother. I study escape.
The telephone never rings. Still, you pick it up, smile into the static, the breath of those you loved long dead. The leaf you pick from the fall rises and dips away with every ridge. Fingers stiff from time, you trace. Staring off into a distance, lean by cataracts and other collected debris, you have forgotten none of the long ago joy of an ice cream truck and its summer song. Between the paving stones, between tea, a cup, and the sound of you pouring, between the time you woke that morning and the time the letter came, a tired sorrow like an old flagellant able only to tease with a weak sting. Riding the elevator, all day floor after floor after floor. Each stop, some small victory widow from the hearthstone of death. You smile. They used to write epics about moments like this.
You have forgotten it all. You've forgotten your name, where you lived, who you loved, why. I'm simply your nurse, terse and unlovely. I point to things and remind you what they are. Chair, look, daughter, soup. And when we're alone, I tell you what lies in each direction. This way is death. And this way, after a longer walk, is death. And that way is death, but you won't see it until it's right in front of you. Once after your niece had been to visit you, and I said something about how you must love her, or she must love you, or something useless like that, you gripped my forearm in your terrible swift hand and said, "She is everything." You gave me a shake. Everything to me. And then you fell back into the well, deep into the well of everything. And I stand at the edge and call, chair, look, daughter,